In my mind, worlds collide. Something inside me is gone. Still I keep going on.
Hey guys, I just want to quickly pop in real quick before the video starts and just apologize for not using any Godzilla or Monsterverse related gameplay footage in this video while I ramble about this topic. The gameplay I'm using is Battlefront 2 because, hey, EA, give us Battlefront 3. Thank you. Hey, what is up guys? threedaysawsome here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and today I kind of want to be blunt. I kind of want to address some things that I've been seeing for years and years and years, and that's the likelihood of some of your favorite Toho monsters entering the Monsterverse. And, you know, I never want to come off as rude to anyone in this video, and I also try not to sound like a hypocrite either, because sometimes I do these things too that I'm going to talk about in this video, and that's going to be the main topic of this video, is just talking about, you know, the harsh reality that a lot of your Toho favorites are not coming to the Monsterverse because it just doesn't make sense to. And I hope I'm wrong one day. I would love to be served on a silver platter and just be outright wrong. And I hope to wake up one day and Toho is just giving Legendary free range with all their licenses. I think that'd be extremely cool, and as us as fans, we would win at the end of the day. And also, of course, I'm not coming from a place where I know what's going on behind the scenes. I know just as much as anybody else. I'm a fan at the end of the day. I'm not a creator of the Monsterverse. I'm not affiliated with Legendary of the Monsterverse. I'm just a hardcore fan. But I do have some realistic lenses when it comes to this stuff that I want to share. And hopefully by the end of this video, you might have a healthier relationship with the Monsterverse if you already haven't. But before we get in that video, I do want to take a moment and, you know, kind of, poke fun at some individuals that commented in my video. You know, not to insult anyone or anything like that. I just wanted to make light of a situation and, kind of clear the air because there's some misinformation going on. So this is a response to one of my Space Godzilla videos in Godzilla X Kong Supernova. If you want to check out this specific video I'm talking about, link in the description down below. But I got a few people in my comment section telling me that I'm wrong about Space Godzilla, or they're at least talking to me as if they don't know, as if I don't know anything, you know? Like, I get it. There's a lot of new subscribers, and I appreciate all the love and support I've been getting on recent videos. Like, all my videos are about to hit 1,000 pretty much, and I appreciate everyone that's watched the video, that has left a comment, that has liked the video, and has subscribed. Hopefully I can keep doing this, and I'm staying motivated to continue this all the way to Supernova's release and beyond. And again, this is not to insult anyone here, because I'm going to have their comments in the video, just so, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I got a lot of people in my comment section telling me that they can't do Space Godzilla in the Monsterverse without Biollante. This person writes, the truth is, if they want to bring in Space Godzilla, they would have to also include Biollante and Destroya. Because in the actual lore of Space Godzilla, that part always makes me laugh. In the actual lore of Space Godzilla, he's supposed to be some mutation of Godzilla cells in either Destroyer or Biollante. They keep it kind of vague. It's more likely they're going to bring in aliens and likely Gigan or Megalon or Orga. That last part in his comment is what kind of inspired to make me this video, because everyone's got to kind of keep their expectations in check. But, to kind of to destroy your first point here, they would have to also include Biollante and Destroya. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla came out in 1994. Godzilla vs. Destroya came out in 1995. So your point there is absolutely false, my good sir. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that maybe this was a brain fart and maybe you meant Mothra, because in the actual movie Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, they are talking about Space Godzilla's possible origins, because even the scientists don't exactly know like what happened, but the movie gives two explanations on how Space Godzilla was created. Number one was, yes, it was Biollante. They say at the end of Godzilla vs. Biollante, after Godzilla killed Biollante, she turned into spores, and I guess she had drift off into space and got mutated by a black hole, and that gave us Space Godzilla. So my overall problem with this, before we even get into the second explanation they give in the film, is that, well, in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 1991, they go back in time. They time travel to Godzilla's origin, remove him off the island moments before he's even radiated by the bomb. So by that logic, and Godzilla vs. Biollante 1989 didn't even happen. But the Heisei era is kind of flawed in a way where, like, you know, the continuity is kind of a mess. So, and even in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, even if Biollante was erased and didn't happen, everyone still remembers the events of Biollante. So, yeah, I guess theoretically, you know, she isn't erased from the timeline, but there's also no evidence to suggest that she wasn't erased from the timeline, and it's just a mess anyway. And besides, their second explanation makes tons more sense. After the battle between Godzilla and Mothra in 1992, the 1992 film Godzilla vs. Mothra with Batra, the evil version of Mothra, Mothra goes into space, and she had Godzilla cells flake off of her, and that goes into a black hole and gets mutated and becomes Space Godzilla. So, by your logic, first of all, your logic is completely wrong, because Destroya came after and had nothing to do with Space Godzilla. Biollante doesn't matter because she was more likely created by Mothra anyway, because of the Godzilla cells that fell off of Mothra's wings. So, either way, Biollante is not needed for the Monsterverse. I want Biollante, and Biollante is my number one kaiju in Toho's library that I want to see in the Monsterverse. Biollante is a badass, but she is not needed for Space Godzilla. And I would say Mothra is also not needed for Space Godzilla, because if they do have Space Godzilla in this movie, they can make whatever bullshit they want. It's not required. It's not a legal document that you need either Biollante or Mothra. And if it is, then cool. Then we get Biollante in the Monsterverse. Or cool, Mothra will go into space for whatever reason and create Space Godzilla. But I don't think there is a dotted line anywhere. And if there is a dotted line somewhere, then holy shit, then we're going to get Space Godzilla, right? If there's a legal document between Legendary and Toho, then cool. That means Space Godzilla is coming, and Biollante. That'd be awesome, but that's not going to happen. Which is a perfect segue into our main topic of this video, and that is your favorite kaiju is not coming to the Monsterverse. Especially with the recent, announcement of Godzilla X Kong Supernova, a lot of people are theorizing that Trapper's going to pilot Jet Jaguar to help Godzilla and Kong fight Space Godzilla. I even heard from old plot leaks that it has reanimated zombie cyborg titans, which may or may not be true in this movie still. But even the idea of Jet Jaguar came from there too. And then the other guy's comment on my video, he said they're likely to bring Gigan, Megalon, or Orga. Megalon and Orga are so obscure Toho kaiju that it is not worth Legendary's time to get the license for. And that goes the same for Jet Jaguar, that goes the same for Batra, that goes the same for Kamacuras, Kumonga, Amanda. So a lot of the obscure kaiju in Toho's roster, which could be anyone outside of the Toho top 5, which is Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Mechagodzilla. While they're the Toho top 5, look into it. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I even talk about in the other video, talk about Space Godzilla, that who would be the top 6, who would be the 6th place, and I said Space Godzilla. I would say Space Godzilla is 50-50. He's either coming to the Monsterverse because he has huge potential, or he's not coming to the Monsterverse. I say Space Godzilla, as of right now, has a 50-50 shot. Destroya has about 60-30, I'd say. He's not at 50-50, but he is more recognizable. He has the crowning achievement of quote-unquote killing Godzilla, or being Godzilla's more powerful foe. And I would say Gigan comes at 3. And then I know there are some Monsterverse directors that have interest, such as Michael Dougherty. He had interest in bringing Biollante into the Monsterverse. I would say Jackson Jr. wants to bring Gigan to his Godzilla anime. The creativity, the creators, the creatives, right, behind the Monsterverse, they know about all the obscure Toho kaiju. I'm not dismissing that, but what it comes down to is a deal between Toho Studios and Legendary Pictures. Those are the two entities that matter. The creatives don't matter. The fans don't matter in this equation at all. Of course, Michael Dougherty wants to bring Biollante to the Monsterverse. He's a Godzilla fan. So is Adam Wingard. So is Gareth Edwards. So is Jordan Vogt Roberts. All Kaiju fans. These are Kaiju fans that know the lore and know everything about Godzilla as much as we do. If not, maybe more, maybe less. But what matters is Legendary and Toho. Legendary is not going to go buy the license to Baragon. Legendary is not going to go buy the license to Jet Jaguar, Mogira, Batra. Like, look at it this way. When we got Tiamat in the Monsterverse, that's basically Legendary saying no to Manda. When we got Abaddon into the Monsterverse with the adaptation of, not the adaptation, but the creation of Kong Survival Instinct, the video game, and even in the graphic novel, Monsterverse Declassified, when they introduced Abaddon, I almost forgot the name for a second, I almost said Kumonga. When they introduce Abaddon to the Monsterverse, they're basically saying no to Kumonga. And if they make a giant prime mantis creature, they're basically going to say no to Kamacuras. Hell, I would even argue that Doug is basically Legendary's version of Baragon in some ways. I would argue that Camazotz is Legendary saying no to Batra. I would argue that Scylla is Legendary saying no to the sea monster Ebra, the giant crustacean shrimp thing that would fit perfect in the Monsterverse. No, they're not going to go buy the license to some generic sea monster. They made Scylla instead. There's no reason for Legendary to shell out millions of dollars for the most obscure IPs that let's face it, you and I love. I love Monster X / Kaiser Ghidorah. I love Mechaguirus. I love Biollante. I love I love Titanosaurus, but they're not going to shell out money for basically a giant mutated dragonfly, a dinosaur with basically a water fin tail, and Biollante may be more likely, but at the same time, they can just create a giant plant kaiju in their own universe, and there you go. At this point, makes Legendary more money to create original Titans, and that was more abundantly clear when we had the installment of Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. They went out of their way to create the new Scar King and Shimo, and not to mention some other new creatures that we got in this movie. They even went out of their way to pull Tiamat from the comics and brought her into live action, which, that easily could have been Manda, but like I said before, Tiamat is basically Legendary's Manda, but better in my opinion, but that's besides the point. I would even argue that even introducing Scar King and the Kong army, they're basically saying absolutely fuck no to the Gargantuas in War of the Gargantuas. They're not going to shell money for these obscure licenses. There are some no-brainer choices that they could go and get, like SPACEGODZILLA, Destroya, Gigan, Biollante, but that's really it. I would say anything outside of those 3 or 4 that I just said, they're not coming to the Monsterverse. If I want to throw in one more, then yeah, I would say maybe Mecha King Ghidorah could come, because they already have King Ghidorah, and they already have a Mecha Godzilla. But then again, still, it's a separate license that they still have to go get. And it's just like, what's the point? I'll just make up some other plot and story where it doesn't have Mecha King Ghidorah. Just bring fucking Ghidorah back. Look at what they did with the Monsterverse. Well, they already have the Toho top 5 in here. Mothra is eternal. As long as she lays an egg, Mothra can be reborn through that egg, right? Ghidorah is basically immortal. They basically confirmed that Godzilla and Ghidorah had multiple battles in ancient Antarctica, and Kevin's lost his head more than one time. So there's multiple heads laying around, multiple skulls, I guess at this point, laying around Earth. Humanity can dig up one back up from the dirt, and then radiate with radiation, and then the cells mutate, and then Ghidorah's back. He just regrows himself like he does in the movie. Rodan, they didn't kill Rodan, so Rodan's still alive. Mechagodzilla wasn't destroyed atom by atom. He was only torn limb from limb, so he can be rebuilt and brought back. There's almost no reason to go shell out and go buy Mecha King Ghidorah when they can just bring King Ghidorah back. There's no reason to bring an evil version of Mothra into this universe when they can just make up a different Mothra, or as I said, Camazotz is basically their alternative to Batra. There's no reason to bring Kaiser Ghidorah into the mix when they can just make up a new alien godlike space kaiju, or once again bring back Ghidorah. There's no reason to bring another mech into this universe unless it's, I don't know, Pacific Rim, because Legend already has that, but they may not ever do a crossover like that. But, you know, just bring Mechagodzilla back. I mean, look at Godzilla X Kong the Hunted. Kong fought a mech. A mech that easily could have just been Mogira or something that they could have just showed maybe a few dollars for to put him in the comic, and they didn't. They made up a whole new mech for this. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can go on and on and on about this, but I see it every day. I see it every time. It's just, you know, and there's healthy versions of these comments on Twitter, my YouTube comments, other people's YouTube comments, Facebook. There's healthy ones that are like, oh man, I would love to see Godzilla and Mechagodzilla and Kong team up with Mothra and Batra to fight Space Godzilla. I would love to see this. I would love to see that. You know, those are fine. It's something that you would love to see. That's feedback. That's good feedback. But what I do see a lot is, like, before even Monsterverse Declassified came out, I saw someone saying, like, oh man, I can't wait to see Kumunga and Kamacuras in this novel. And I'm like, I responded to him, I was like, they're not coming. They're not in this at all, I guarantee it. And he goes, who knows? It's stuff like that where it's like, it's not fun, it's not healthy, fun speculation. It just becomes toxic, because I guarantee you, once he found out that Monsterverse Declassified did not have any Toho Kaiju in it, he was upset. I saw it with Godzilla X Kong The New Empire when they announced the title announcement trailer, and we saw the evil Kong sitting on the throne. People were upset it wasn't Megalon, because they figured, oh, well, they're probably going to explore a Hollow Earth threat this time around in the next movie, so it's going to be Megalon because he's got drill hands. And it fucking wasn't Megalon. So they're not going to get Orga. They're not going to get Megalon. Gigan is almost likely, but at the same time, probably not. I would even say Space Godzilla is not likely, because as I said, why would they go get the license for it? They already have the license to the Toho Top 5, and they can just make up any kaiju they want. What's the likelihood that Space Godzilla even come to the Monsterverse? So now I'm calling myself out for this. I would like to see Zilla in the Monsterverse. I think Zilla would be a really cool, fun subspecies to Godzilla. Oh, but guess what? Toho's being stingy with that as well. They don't want Godzilla part of a species. They want Godzilla just to be himself. Like Greg Keyes said that in an interview, that Toho doesn't want him to be in any family or any species at all. Godzilla is just Godzilla, which means their theories that Doug is a Godzilla completely thrown out the window. So basically, they just said fuck no to Zilla, pretty much, because that would have been an easy explanation to have another kind of version of Godzilla in this universe. I know I kind of sound mad right now, but I'm just like super passionate about this. I'm not mad. I'm not angry at anybody. It's just, I really wish people would just have expectations in check. There's healthy speculation. There is healthy wants and desires. Like wanting Kamacuras and Kumunga in the Monsterverse, wanting Megalon, wanting Orga, Monster X into the Monsterverse. You know, that's one thing. But hoping and praying and claiming that they are going to be in this next movie and being disappointed that they're not in the next movie and writing off the Monsterverse entirely. I mean, it's not healthy, but at the same time, do you, man. I guess. You know, I can't stop you from doing anything like that. So maybe this video is just a giant waste of time. But at the same time, I just needed to get it off my chest, because this stuff like this, I see it often. I've argued with people in the past, and some of them, they take it well, and some of them don't. But yeah, I try to make this video shorter. I've redone this a few times, but it always ends up being like a 20-minute video, and I do apologize if you guys made it all the way through. I appreciate you. But once again, you know, just kind of, you know, the seal of the deal. It's likely a lot of Toho Kaiju, if not all the rest of them, 100% of the rest, are not coming to the Monsterverse. I would even say Space Godzilla, because, you know, it would be disappointing if Space Godzilla's not in this movie. This is a perfect opportunity to do it. It's Supernova. What else could there be? And, you know, it's oddly, it could be an original Kaiju as well. And I'm hoping it's Space Godzilla. That's why I'm making these videos, because I want it to be Space Godzilla. And it's, you know, it's perfect. And that's not to say that, you know, Space Godzilla and Gigan are not perfect choices. I would still say that a lot of Toho Kaiju are perfect for the Monsterverse, but a lot of them are too obscure, and Toho's probably asking for too much money. If Toho would just work with Legendary and give them at like huge discounted prices or no price at all, because these movies are still coming out in Japan anyway, and I believe they claim full profit in the box office for Japan, so it's like, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, like, I'm going to come out with another video just kind of talking about Toho, because I think Toho is just absolutely holding back the Monsterverse and holding back Godzilla in general, so stick around for that, guys. Might be a hot take, but god damn it, I don't know, fuck Toho at the end of the day. So that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. That is my time. Thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, stay awesome.
Sweet jetpack trooper. No! Oh, fuck. Kill him. You're better.
I am.
Yep.
I am better. I am better!
Cause you need me. You need me to save you.
Dude, he was over.
I'm done apologizing for my strength. Wow,
Wow, we just cooked, dude. We're him. Give us heroes, dude. It's over.
It's over, dog. Wow. No.